This video, the topic today is about Venus. So thank you for joining me. And previously I have done some videos about Mercury. And I mean, obviously it's about afflictions to Mercury and how that can actually have an impact on our thinking process, our intellect, and navigating through life. When Mercury, it just becomes very difficult because obviously it's very important for work, very important for interacting with other people, and just generally daily routine, just getting yourself up, washed and dressed and ready kind of thing. So Venus rules the natural second house of the zodiac, Taurus, and also the seventh natural sign of the zodiac, which is Libra. Taurus being the feminine sign and Libra being the masculine sign. Taurus is also a fixed sign, and it's obviously the second natural house of the zodiac, as we said, and rules kind of like the face and the neck. And I would probably put ears in there as well. One of the most important things about Venus is that I think one of the things that we kind of can overlook, these are obviously my own interpretations of Venus, is that Venus is about choices. Because Venus, the second house of the zodiac, is about family really, and about values. More than anything else, as far as I'm concerned, that is just the most important things about second house or Taurus. Because obviously, even if you have like a dual sign or movable sign, second house, the natural zodiac sign, natural second house of the zodiac is Taurus. So it's fixed and it's feminine. And so what the choices are all about, like about choices for me, what's good for me. And what Venus does is, like, say for example, on a very simple sort of example will be when you get to the road and you look left and right, make sure the traffic is clear before you cross the road. So it just makes choices based upon their own good. Venus is good. And Venus is also, because of that very reason, because also rules the family, will make choices in relationships based upon what's good for me first and for my family. So although everything is it's romance and all of that, relationships and all of that can be also put into this, put into the Venus kind of indications. Nonetheless, though, it's based upon, first of all, my relationship with me, what sort of relationship I have with myself, because how my relationship is with myself will actually shape my future relationships at work, obviously with my family and with my significant other when I get married. This is why it's really good, for some people, you can see that in their chart, because like there's a Saturnian thing going on when it comes to their seventh house of Venus. And so those kind of people, even though they might, even because there could be some kind of third, obviously seventh house is house of desire as well. Third, seventh and 11th houses are houses of desire. And when there's too much of like desire based, a lot of planets in sort of like those kind of signs, there's a lot of desire, and obviously if Rahu is there as well in aspecting those, kind of magnifies the desire based thing. So the desire overtakes the actual logic of choices, because they're more attraction based rather than what's good for me. And so going back to the choices, so a really good Venus will think about what is the good choice here, because I have to be in a relationship with myself first, that I actually honor who I am. So I honor my own values. So my values are, for example, I tell you about my values. One of the things that are absolutely non-negotiable for me is respect. If people are disrespectful, I actually really, in this day and age, particularly at my age, I just feel, I will respect absolutely everybody, but I can't really overlook disrespect. For example, if somebody is walking down the street and they eating something and they chuck their wrapper on the floor, to me that's disrespectful. That's actually showing their value is whatever it is, and it shows that they don't really respect other people and they don't really respect the environment they live in. So that kind of thing, this is a very small example, but for me that is non-negotiable. I could not actually see myself living with somebody who is disrespectful, and that is obviously, that's a very small kind of example. And the other thing that's absolutely, this is, I'm one of those people that my second house has got better as I've gotten older. Some people are born and they already have a really good understanding and self-love. They know their values, they know their family values, and they're very clear about their boundaries. I've had to work to learn these things, but some of the things obviously come from my family as well. The other thing that I absolutely cannot tolerate is lying. I can understand sometimes you have to, just for the sake of peace, you do kind of like a little white fib. I can understand that. But people who actually lie, I just can't. I just cannot understand that in any way. And I really have a terrible time understanding that. So it's not for me. And there it is. Those are my values. So that is the Venusian thing for the second house for me. For me, if I was to have a relationship with somebody, get married or something, those two things would be just non-negotiable. I can negotiate a lot of different things, and and then obviously you have other beliefs, but that would be like the sort of really foundational thing for me. Other beliefs and everything else, you can kind of work on that as well, but some things are just non-negotiable. And then we have obviously the self-love thing. So I think, if you're, as I said, Venus in any way is being controlled, whether by sitting in a Saturn sign or aspected by Saturn. It's again very important to take your time, because what Saturn does to Venus, it actually kind of takes the confidence away from any planet that sits with Saturn, gets a little bit nervous, because obviously it's a massive planet and it's heavy. The energy is heavy, so it naturally takes that sort of vitality away from them a little bit. So if that is the case, then you want to just definitely take your time, because Saturn is telling you your confidence and self-love, you have to work at that. You have to have boundaries in place, love yourself, and slowly let people in. And these people always do better if they wait a bit as well. And they make the most wonderful sort of in relationships. They're very good because they're very loyal, generally speaking, because that's one of the very great things about Saturn, is puts really deep values, deep foundations into the relationships, makes things long lasting. So if you're having a long lasting relationship, you want it to be at a time when you are kind of more self-aware, if you like. So these are kind of a few things about Venus. And Venus is also, obviously, rules the second house. The moment you kind of start dating somebody, I really want to emphasize this, because this is like, obviously I know some viewers might be watching this in India and places like that, where they probably not necessarily always date in some places, like a family thing. And so I do apologize for this bit, but when you're dating somebody as well, you kind of like, you're dating them mainly because there was an attraction, And so you don't really know the person very well. So you want to kind of listen to them and just see that they don't contradict themselves. They don't tell a lie and then another lie. So always remember what they say, because I think sometimes during dates people can be quite starry-eyed and they could be quite nervous. But just make sure you take everything in and just make sure what they said at the beginning of the evening tallies with what they're saying towards the middle and end of the evening as well, or the day, or the coffee, or whatever you know the case is. I would also say always go for your first feeling about somebody, you know, because somebody might look great on a picture and they might look great in person, but really it's more than that, you know. It's an energy thing as well. So if you kind of think, you know, somebody is, I don't know, you can actually always kind of understand what, some people are narcissists, some people are liars, some people just like inflate themselves, and when you start speaking to them, they're not really who they think they are. You know, just really kind of go with your feeling, your gut feeling. We must start learning to respect our gut feeling. Our gut feeling is as important as the other 5 senses. And if it doesn't feel right, go with that first feeling. It doesn't feel right. Don't try and sugarcoat something if it's not real. I think that, I don't know how many times I've heard that. And yes, if it's not right, it's never going to be right. You can then go through this turmoil of a relationship, and then feelings will get involved, and then back to the same thing, that, you know, you should listen to your gut feeling. If it doesn't feel right, guys, girls, don't do it. And you got to look also beyond the looks, because the looks are amazing. Yes, of course, be attracted to that. But somebody who is good company, can make you laugh, can just kind of make you feel good about yourself. That's so important, isn't it? Somebody who, there's a bit of banter, there is intelligence in conversation. There's somebody who's consistent. Men should be consistent. Men should be like the sun, consistent and reliable. They should keep their word. So women, if a man tells you he's going to contact you at that particular time and they don't contact them. Really think about it. Maybe there's a message there. You know, you don't always want to be the consistent one in the relationship. That's their job. And guys, honor the woman. If you have said you're going to do something, do it, because this is another thing about Venus. Venus is the second house of the zodiac. The moment a woman comes into your life, what happens is they actually activate your second house of earning money, making money, because you become a union, second house, and that second house actually activates your value and activates your second house. And because it's also an earth sign and a fixed sign, so it means that it gives you a really firm foundation. Then you know somebody has your back and you have somebody else's back. And I really do emphasize that when you're in a relationship, you're not really one person anymore. You're 2 people looking after each other. Yes, you can both have, like, keep up with your friends and see them and have fun, or, you know, do your own thing, you know. But primarily you are somebody. And also, you don't try and do everything together. You know, it's nice to have a bit of breathing space, you know. So if the guy's interested in playing, I don't know, volleyball or basketball or play chess with his friends, do that. And if women, you know, you want to go and see a friend, watch a film, have the girls over, you know, for some popcorn and something, you know, do it. You know, it's quite nice to just have that time to be yourself. And actually, I think also women do benefit from having a bit of time on their own. So if they want to take a bath or just have a lazy day, because women need that. We just need to reserve our energy. That's kind of very much like second house, knowing your value, knowing that you need rest, knowing that, you know, because women can't, I know some women, you know, I mean, I might be sort of, you know, I don't want to upset anything, but generally speaking, I think women do kind of, because to go on a date, a woman has got to go on to a lot of effort. Being a woman, you know, you got longer hair and everything, you can get drier skin and all that kind of stuff. So you need to kind of look after yourself. You need a bit more maintenance and a bit more rest than men do. Actually, if you read scientific evidence that women actually need more sleep than men, and all this kind of stuff. So this is all to do with the second house. So women activate the second house in men and once become a family. And those values, once you have very kind of clear ideas about your values as a couple, then that gives really good and stable background to your children, you know. So, you know, that you kind of like want to respect the environment, or, you know, certain beliefs or religions or whatever it is, you know, that's what you have. So I don't know, we always eat at a table and we talk at the table, no mobile phones at the table, or whatever it is. And always trying to, you know, that's the beauty of Venus, because what Venus can do is not only just prepare you a nice meal, but just having like trying to make one evening a week, perhaps on a Friday night when you're having a meal, have some flowers on the table and maybe a candle, and make it just more of an event, maybe with some background music. All of these things are actually valuing the very, very basic things in life, because they just put in a little bit of luxury into what would be like a mundane, everyday meal. And also, Taurus is house of agriculture as well. The earth, whether you're working the earth, is a hard-working sign. So it is all about produce. That is all colourful, and nutrients and everything. So all of those things that are beautiful. It's not about beige and brown foods that are in packets and everything. It's all about quality, you know, simplicity. If you read everything about Venus, Venus is not, gives you massive luxuries, but Venus is like cotton is Venus, you know. White is Venus, you know. It's not like, you know, gold and dazzling everything. It's kind of things that are long lasting, like diamonds. So it's not like, I mean, I know they're luxurious as well. I'm sort of contradicting myself in the same thing, but it is kind of, it's all about things that are lasting, you know, things that are just of value. It's about more about value than anything else. And obviously the seventh house that it rules as well is obviously about partnerships, business partnerships, relationships, balance in it, where we both have an interaction. Because when you have too much, one person has too much say in a relationship, that's where they're dissatisfied as well. Because if you're having too much control and too much say in a relationship, you're not in a relationship. It's kind of becoming like you're becoming dominant and you're crushing your partner. You know, it could go either way. Man can do that to the woman can do that to the man. It's really nice to have that interaction where both of you feel valued in the relationship and both of you are aware of the other person's feelings as well. And all of these are very, very positive things about family and children as well, because they are brought up in an environment where they feel safe, they feel nurtured, and they feel nourished. And those sort of people, and because they have values and they love themselves, they actually, what you do then, you attract those kind of people to themselves. Because very much like if you're constantly nervous, you kind of always bring difficulties and worries in your life. So you want to be very clear about what your message to that outer world is. So you start from yourself, you change the message within yourself, and then you work on the outer thing as well. This is why I love astrology. You know, you can spend years in therapy, and I did actually go to therapy at one point, and I just got fed up with just like talking about the same things over again. And but for me, you know, I'm not saying that psychotherapy and all those kind of things don't work. They really did work, but I think it's really good when you have that. You read the self-help books, you kind of get the information from a psychotherapist, but you also do the work, do kind of like astrology helps as well. And we all have different ways of learning. And for me, it was very much like I did those. Astrology probably was a bit more concrete for me, because you know what, all these things that you think is somebody else's problem, actually you're creating for yourself. So do the work. And these are all the Venus things that is kind of like the self-love. I'm working on it because I want to attract the better people in my life. And the moment you do that, that kind of thing happens so easily. And obviously it rules women as well, Venus, and rules your heart chakra. So it's very important to be good to yourself. You know, when you feel tired, to sleep. When when you're feeling your body's out of balance or something like that, really review your diet and things like that. And more than anything, it's also about respecting women. It's like a very feminine planet, and all of those values, because women are the people who actually spend more time with the children, so they actually have a lot to say about the next generation. So by actually looking after the women working, looking after women, and men looking after them, their women, you always see that a successful man is always very, very good at looking after women. They look after their mothers, they're very aware of their sisters, and they really love their wives and their daughters, and their son, obviously, because they are like their progeny. So it's very important. So this is a little bit about Lakshmi, because Venus is also the goddess Lakshmi of abundance. And abundance is not always money. Sometimes abundance is just in like having beautiful thoughts and beautiful things that are just like art, poetry, all those wonderful things, music and things. It's all the beauty and abundance, seeing things, seeing the beauty in everything as you walk down the road, rather than being critical of this, that and the other. That's how Venus actually becomes debilitated. It becomes too critical, too picky, and it damages what Venus is. Venus is all about the big picture and the beauty, and everybody sharing with other people. Whereas with the sort of like the debilitated Venus, it's like, I only want to share with this, what's in it for me kind of thing. So that kind of takes away from the beauty of what Venus is really. Venus is about sharing, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on Venus. So here it is. Or maybe I'll do videos as and when things come up. So thank you for watching. Thank you.